G'day, Nick Goldschmidt here. I'm a winemaker, and my first vintage was at Lincoln University in 1982. There was no wine school at Lincoln University back then, but I hope to think, or like to think, that what we did back then culminated in them putting in a wine school at Lincoln a little bit later on. Because there was no wine school, I went to Australia and I studied viticulture at Charles Sturt University in Wagga Wagga in 1984-85, and then a postgraduate in enology at Roseworthy in 86. In 1990 I was 26 years old and I became winemaker at Simi Winery, and that's really started me on my path to making wine in such a great appellation such as the North Coast, primarily Napa and Sonoma. 2016 is my 34th vintage. It's a long time, and I think I've spent my whole life building up to this moment, the release of a wine that we've got called Ultimatum. Ultimatum comes from Oakville, of course, which is my favorite appellation of sub-appellation of the Napa Valley, with very famous neighbors such as Maiden, Harlan, Screaming Eagle, Tokelone, Mondavi, Opus, Faniente, Nickel Nickel, etc. Just many famous wineries. And although these wines are relatively expensive, I still think they're extremely good value. We can look at the neighbors around us. On the label, we have a topo map of the area, including the little knoll that sits in the middle of this Oakville appellation. It's the only knoll in the middle of the valley, and that's what makes this thing really unique. And there's a little asterisk indicating where the vineyard is, obviously my signature, and the name Ultimatum. So the ultimate wine that I could make after 34 vintages has culminated at this particular juncture. We've also just bottled the 2017, which I'll talk about too. But proud of both of these wines, and I hope you one day get a chance to try them. Cheers, Nick Goldschmidt, winemaker.